Got a tattoo? Then you gotta have a story behind it. We're Tat-Stories, and we bring our viewers those stories. We lost the kahuna in the dominatrix den at the AVNs. Don't worry, we'll get him back. This week, our first story comes from a gal sporting steampunk. Our second has a bit of a South Park twist. And our final is a Russian gal with pizzazz.
Kahuna for Tat-Stories, and I'm here with Samantha. Samantha's got an amazing arm piece that you just got to see to believe. We'll make sure we get some of it on the screen so you can see it close up. But more importantly, I want to find out what specifically she got, why she got it, what some of the themes might be. So Samantha, tell us a little bit about what you got on that sleeve and what it means.
All right, well, the most fun one is down here at the bottom. It's called the 519 Punk Tattoo. It's got a little bomb, and it says 519 Punk. And that is a show, it's a fundraiser where bands from all over North America performed one day to raise money for the food bank in Guelph, Ontario, which is the 519 area code. And I met a band called ROG there. It turns out that ROG is Guar spelled backwards, and that's when I got hired by their lead singer to host the barbecue for the following 8 or 9 years. So this tattoo actually ended up getting me like a good job working with Metal Blade Records.
So remember, tattoos get you jobs. That's a good thing. Now tell me, you've got a clock above it. What's that about? It's on 11 o'clock.
It is. The time means nothing. It was unimportant.
So tell me a little bit about that clock in 11 o'clock. What does that mean?
So that's my time bomb. I had a random long piece of skin here that was untattooed, and I needed something there, and the rest of my arm's pretty steampunky with dials and pipes and switches, so I was like, why not add a time bomb to it?
Steampunky. You know what that means? We have an aspiring engineer here. That's cool. Now, tell me, what about the top? What's going on with the top?
Well, okay, so I was dating a fellow who wanted to get tattoos from his friend, and his friend just had like a homemade tattoo machine. It was awful. So I bought tattoo equipment, and I was like, listen, like, we're both intelligent people. You can learn how to do this properly. So I was his test subject, and I got all from my elbow up done in my living room. So these were all first-timer tattoos, and this is the first tattoo I ever did on somebody. So I put my initials on his shoulder, and then he put his initials on me with the same tattoo stencil. So that's the first tattoo I ever drew. It's the first one I ever did. And
Does that say JW?
it says JW. It says for James Wire.
Just so you know, my initials are JW.
Are
This
they
is
really?
this is freaky. Oh
I got
my
you
god.
tattooed on my shoulder, honey. And then my initials are SM. So after we broke up, he told everyone that it stood for stupid man. So, but really, it's Samantha Mac.
Come on, dude. She's cool. What are you thinking? All right, now let me ask you this. You gonna get any more ink?
Yeah, I want my whole back done.
Okay, what are you gonna get?
I don't know. It's a big piece of real estate, and so it's got to be something clever. I want a double entendre, something a little cheeky. I got it, something fun, something not too serious. It's got to be good though. It's got the biggest amount of skin on my body, so it's got to be a good message.
Cheeky good. You know what? I'll tell you what. We're probably going to pop her Instagram down here. If you got any ideas for cheeky good back ink, be sure and shoot it over to her Insta.
Something ironic, maybe. I don't know.
All right, now let me ask you this: when you started to do, the tattooing, especially on the top, it was kind of like, okay, we're just starting to learn this. Was there any pain?
Yeah. Okay. So there's no pain quite like right by your nail bed, the bottom of your finger. I did that one myself. I was committed, so that's why there's only 2 lines in this tattoo. I had to finish it, but that is painful. Palm of your hand sucks. But I love this guy. He jumps. It's my jumping tattoo. Boing, 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 boing.
That's classic.
I love him. I saw it on Pinterest, and I pulled out the equipment, and I just tattooed my own hand. That's awful. Don't tattoo your hand. It's horrible. Like the palm of your hand, that's rough skin. Elbows. My elbows swell up really bad, actually.
Now, we heard that people that get their elbows done, they have trouble sleeping because it's hard to kind of lay on them. Do you have any trouble with that?
Well, I mean, no, you have like really good sex. You get exhausted. It doesn't matter what's tattooed on your elbow.
You know what?
To sleep.
She is cheeky. I kind of like this girl. She's awesome. All right, I want to thank you so much for taking time. They're getting ready to shut it down here at AVN, but we want to make sure that we thank you. We also want to make sure that we say to our viewers, this is the Kahuna, and we are out. Kahuna for Tat Stories here. I've got Adira.
Yes, you do.
Adira's been walking around and she's sporting some baby little pieces of ink that are pretty cool. She's got a lovely piece on her back of her neck. She's got a piece on her shoulder. They're just really nice, subtle pieces. So tell me a little bit about your ink, what you have, and why you got it.
Well, when I was 15, I got the birds on my shoulder to represent my 5 best friends. And then the next year, I added the sun onto that piece, which I drew myself. And I was always a hippie, so I made it Rasta colors. I knew I would always be a hippie my whole life. I still am 10 years later. Probably will be until I die. Then I got my Pisces sign on my neck, which I also just doodled one day in class, and I decided I really liked it and I wanted to tattoo it on myself. I have my Cartman behind my ear because when I was young, my dad died and my mom smoked a lot of weed and watched a lot of South Park to cope with this. And so South Park was always something in our family that we enjoyed together as a family, and so it kind of represented my family. And just our jokes and stuff. And then my eye, which was my last tattoo, I was just feeling frisky. It was Friday the 13th, and they do those deals. And so this tattoo was $20, and it initially had a little teardrop under it, which means you've killed someone. It's a gang thing. And so I was I'll just take the eyeball, please. And got the eye.
All right, folks, and we know people that get tattoos every Friday the 13th. So
yeah, there are a lot of them.
Yeah, so I can appreciate that. I love the comment about your mom. That's spectacular. It's you know what, folks? There's nothing like South Park to bring a family together.
There's really not.
Kenny never really died, honest. Well, maybe he did, but we're not so sure.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. We really, really appreciate it. We're going to make sure that you get her information on our on below so that you can find her on Instagram. You can make sure that you can follow her, and more importantly, you can make sure that you become aficionados of her work. Thank you again. I do appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
This is Kahuna, and we are out from the AVNs.
Bye.
Kahuna for Tat Stories, and I'm here at the AVNs with Kessie. Now, Kessie is from Russia, and I'm here to tell you, folks, she's got some stunning Russian ink. Now, with that in mind, I want to find out a little bit about a piece that she's got on her arm. It's got so many facets, I don't even know what to tell you. Let's see if we can find out what the parts are all about. So, Kessie, tell me a little bit about the piece and what it means and why it's there.
Long time I think what I want to see this body, but famous artist, actress, and I'm prepared. It's famous for me. It's me.
Oh, so is that you?
It's me.
Oh, we see Kessie's backside, so you're going to see it on the screen. It's actually pretty cool. Now, tell me a little bit about the other pieces. Now, what about the piece with the hat? Is that you too?
Yeah, maybe yes.
It might be her. All right. Well, she's not.
I'm good girl, but not good witch.
Oh, okay. I got that. Now, you've got some interesting things going on down here. Tell me a little bit about the hand.
Yeah, because I'm hot girl and I like hell.
Well, you heard it. Hot girl. I mean, we can't complain. That makes a lot of sense. Now, what about perfetta? What does that mean?
I'm famous, I'm good girl, I'm not good witch, and I like hell, so I'm perfetta.
Okay, I get that. Now, tell me a little bit. Now, were the artists that did the work in Russia?
Yes, in Russia, in Moscow.
The name of your artists?
It's Sergei Дяденька. On Russian language, it's Sergei Дяденька.
All right.
It's Studio Banda.
All right, folks. So now you know Sergei does some pretty cool stuff. Did he also do the snake that's on?
No, it's my first tattoo. It's my first tattoo.
Oh, okay. Now, Kessie's got one hell of a piece on her hip. Tell us about that one.
Just it's this picture for my ass.
Oh, okay. Well, folks, I want to tell you, it is a drop-dead spectacular piece of art. It wraps around her hip. It's pretty amazing. Again, we're going to show it on the screen to make sure that you get the full effect. Now, Kessie, I want to thank you so much for doing this interview.
Thank you.
Oh, you're entirely welcome. Okay, all right. Well, folks, I'll tell you what. My Russian's lousy. Her English is spectacular compared to my Russian. So I want to thank you, Kessie, for spending time with us. This is Tat Stories, and we are out.